I play a character named Micah, and my younger brother was killed by a police officer. Into both sides of the story. How we're quick to judge people based on, oh, because he's a cop and, oh, he's a little black kid, that's why he did that. No, there's
in a nutshell, could you just tell me about a character that a role that you've acted in, that after acting in that role, it also had an impact in your personal life? You know, you acted in the role, and then after the entire role, you were like, okay, now I understand this personality, you know?
Okay. Well, I would say one of my projects that I did last year, it was actually a play, a two-person play called Unrest Empathy, written by Ryan Scott Thomas and Nathan Gipsy. It was a play about Micah. I play a character named Micah, and my younger brother was killed by a police officer, and like a mistaken, the police officer thought the toy gun was a real gun. And so he shot my little brother. And so the play revolves around me basically kidnapping and holding hostage this police officer that shot and killed my brother. And the play develops, well, I have him constrained in this room, and it's a conversation essentially that happens on both sides of the coin. My side being that side of the brutalized, the victim, African-American living in the ghetto with a younger brother who got killed by a cop. And the cop isn't like a gung-ho racist cop. He's not that at all, but he made a snap decision, and unfortunately that decision cost someone their life. And so the play takes place and asks us that question of, what would you do in that situation? And so the opportunity arises in which I can get this officer and, in a way, exact my revenge on him, get answers, seek clarity. All of that is what I was striving for as far as that conversation with that officer and me kidnapping him. Did I want to kill him? Was there a part of me that wanted to kill that officer? Of course, because that rage of having your brother, a family member, your younger brother taken away, that does something to you. And especially like, because you're the older brother, you feel kind of helpless, like you couldn't do anything, but that's your job as a brother, as an older brother. And then you feel like you failed. So all of that resentment and anger and angst and just why, and wanting to work through all of that. That's what this play was. And it was an incredible experience because the way it was written, you really get to go into both sides of the story. You really get to go into how my character, Micah, was feeling. You get to go into how Officer Hennick, his feelings and emotions in that moment, and then dealing with the repercussions and how he was so changed by this ordeal as well. And how, because of that, he got harassed. Neighborhood people were bombing, like throwing glass at him at his home, writing graffiti, just slandering his name, all kinds of things like that, because they just saw him one way. And what this play does is what it's called unrest empathy. It forces you to empathize with the other side, because we are literally in this confined space with just me and this officer and his gun. And so the whole time we're dancing on the eggshells, walking this tightrope. You don't know, oh man, is Micah gonna kill this cop? What's gonna happen? Is the cop gonna call back up? Are they gonna roll down and kill him? And that's the beauty of it. You just don't know what happens until the end. And so after that, that really forced me to look at myself another way, and society as well, on how we just, based off of one event, how we're quick to judge people based on, oh, because he's a cop and, oh, he's a little black kid, that's why he did that. No, there's so many moving parts. There's so many other sides to the story that we don't get a chance to see and hear. And that's this play was very great and very profound and impactful for me.
And from the way you just explained it, I can just tell about how eye-opening playing that kind of role could be, you know, the kind of impact that, you know, that could have on your psyche, basically, and how you see things. Because there's some kind of situations that they just happen, and you have to make this quick decision in a matter of split seconds. And when people make those decisions, and maybe you make them in front of a camera, for example, people are like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done this, but you're not the one in that position to make that decision. It's so easy to stand back and say, oh, I could have done this. But when you're there and you have just like 2 seconds to make a decision which involves life and death, how would you do it? You know, so being in that kind of position changes you. You know, for me personally, what it does to me, it just makes me step back and think more and try to put myself in that position. Like, what would I have done? And if I make the wrong decision, can I make it right on the spot, real fast? Because the chances of making a bad decision is always there. But one thing I've learned about people that are, you know, improved personality is that every time they make a bad decision, they're always willing to correct it right then and there. Some people make the bad decision and they stick with it. Some people make a good decision instantly, but some people know that when they make a bad one, they can correct it, they can rectify it right there, and then, you know, evolve from that situation and become possibly a different human being. Sounds like a character arc, you know, you're going this way and then